Have the slides up? All right. Great. Hi, I'm Sowmya Kannan. I am the global lead for Google Cloud Learning in higher ed. Very, very happy to be here. My topic today is kickstarting your career in Google Cloud. A lot of you are here to build impact and to propel your own communities and get them ready for whatever comes next in the technology space. So let's get started. So what I'm going to talk about are why businesses are moving to Google Cloud, cloud careers for digital transformation, and propelling your community into a cloud-first world. So that's a mouthful, and we'll cover some of that in the next 30 minutes or so. A little bit about myself. I started off as a non-CS major, so a STEM major, but a non-CS major. And all of my computer science training was extracurricular. My first few years were in professional services consulting. So I worked for a number of companies, including Sapient, which is now called Publicis Sapient. I moved into product engineering with Vitria Technology. They were, in fact, the founders of Vitria Technology were the inventors of the publish-subscribe mechanism, which you might all be familiar with. After that, I took a break for about 4 years, I think, for personal reasons. And I was, at that point trying to see what I should be doing next, whether I wanted to go back to engineering or do something different. And I want to quote Sheryl Sandberg here and her book, Lean In, right? And she says, don't think of your career as a ladder. Think of it as a jungle gym, right? There are many paths to make progress in your career. And a jungle gym approach gives you more flexibility, more freedom to explore different things, rather than sticking to one thing that you've tried, tested, are good at, and then there's no learning happening beyond that. So at that point, I took stock of what I was passionate about. I love technology. Java was like my favorite programming language back then. I had pretty good skills in writing, speaking, and so on. So I was thrilled when I got an offer from Sun Microsystems then as a technical writer in the Java SE group. It was like finding the Holy Grail, right? So during my time at Sun, which later got acquired by Oracle, I co-authored the Java tutorials book, which was at that time also used as a textbook in colleges and so on. From there, I, small detour-related career with technical curriculum development at Amazon Web Services. Came to Google Cloud in the same role. And then from then, it was like, OK, what next, right? So I'd spent a few years with engineering, pivoted to writing, curriculum development, so still very much on the bleeding edge of technology, but not engineering. There's many, many career paths, even with maintaining that core love of technology. And then I looked around. The student space, the higher ed learning space really excited me. And that's how I came into this role related to Google Cloud Learning in higher ed. So a very zigzag path to where I am today. And I've enjoyed every minute of it, no regrets at all. All right, so going on to our first big topic. So why are businesses moving to Google Cloud? Why does Google Cloud matter? I'll start off with the official textbook definition of Google Cloud here. Google Cloud Platform lets you build and host applications and websites, store data, analyze data on Google's scalable and reliable infrastructure at scale. The last two words are important. All of you are probably building websites, running TensorFlow, all of that on your laptops. Where Google Cloud comes in, or any cloud technology comes in, is doing it at scale. Right? And as Komal was mentioning, when you're talking about solutions that you're building for your customers or your local community problems, those are going to need scale. right? So that's where Google Cloud comes in. Google's network carries almost 40% of the world's internet traffic every day. Google Photos runs on the same cloud infrastructure. 1.2 billion photos and videos are uploaded to Google Photos every day. About 13 petabytes of photo data. That's petabytes. YouTube, 1 petabyte or 400 hours of video uploaded every minute. And I included a link there. I can't pull it up here right now. But check that out, internetlivestats.com. And if you scroll down to the YouTube section there, you'll see the number. As I'm talking here, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of video watches happening in every second that I'm here up here, right? So that's the kind of scale that we're talking about with cloud. How are customers, enterprises, using cloud to enable their digital transformations? Keller Williams. Now, Keller Williams, this is an example of an old-style brick-and-mortar real estate type company. How are they using cloud? They're using AutoML vision to recognize common elements of home furnishings and architecture and so on. So for example, in this picture, it says it uses AutoML vision to say this is a modern style. There are granite countertops in this picture and so on. Ocado uses natural language processing to route emails for cloud for customer service escalations and claims. QPy uses machine learning to sort out bad potatoes in baby food. So imagine if people had to visually inspect each potato and toss out the bad ones so that they don't make it into baby food. The amount of grunt work and really, it's very easy to get lost in the weeds and lose sight of what the end goal is, right? So those kinds of repetitive tasks can be handled with technology such as machine learning. How many of you have played Pokemon Go or knew somebody who was a huge fan? So Pokemon Go was developed on Google Cloud. And the engineering team that built Pokemon Go estimated some X amount of traffic would hit the game. And they planned for a worst-case scenario of 5x that traffic, right? So they planned for that much capacity. The game became so popular that they got 50x the traffic that they planned, right? And they were able to scale seamlessly because they were using Google Cloud technology such as Google Kubernetes Engine, Cloud Data Store, and so on, right? So again, think scale. All right, so obviously you can see that I'm getting very excited about the technology here, and I have a bias, right? So I am from the Google Cloud team. What are industry analysts saying about Google Cloud? And so when I say industry analysts, these are analysts who evaluate various technologies from various companies, and they have a sort of unbiased view on things. So Gartner, which is a leading industry analyst, has placed Google Cloud as a leader, or in the leaders quadrant, in cloud infrastructure as a service and data management solutions for analytics. Forrester also recognizes Google Cloud as a leader. Forrester is another industry analyst. Now, they've recognized Google Cloud as a leader in cloud platform native security, full stack application development, and database as a service. In fact, I think just earlier this week, Google Cloud was named as a leader in streaming analytics as well by Forrester. All right, so we saw why Google Cloud matters, right? So we're talking about scale. Again, going back to the impact theme, right? So it's not about just a small number. We're talking about impact at a very large scale globally. We talked about how a few different use cases where customers are using technology in radical ways to simplify their operations. Now, how does this translate to careers, right? For you in cloud or in the technology space? Or framed another way, what kind of talent are employers looking for, right, as they embark on their journeys for digital transformation? Now, this is probably my most favorite slide here, that cloud isn't just for software engineers, right? So if you're a computer science major, great, right? You can get into any number of like infrastructure or cloud native app development and so on. However, there are roles and career paths and problem challenges that need skills that STEM majors have. MBAs, marketing, so MSBAs, right? So masters in business analytics. Customers, organizations are trying to derive insights from their data. They have this petabytes of data. We saw that they're generating petabytes of data. They're looking to derive insights from that data, right? And that's where MBAs, MSBAs, marketing, statistics majors, math majors, all of them have a significant role to play in solving the business needs that organizations have. So there are several role-based training paths, right? So we have training for various roles. So for example, if you're a business decision maker, or if you're interested in cloud infrastructure roles, such as you're into networking or cybersecurity, or you want to be a cloud native app developer, maybe you want to solve data problems, right? So you love crunching numbers, you're deriving insights from data. So there are roles in data analytics, data engineering, data science, and so on, right? So training and certification, how does it matter, right? So I could be a self-taught developer, which is absolutely great, right? Where training and certification differentiate you from the rest of the candidate pool when you're applying is you get, there are programs, for example, with Coursera, when you take training courses on Coursera, we have a program where you will be presented with the opportunity to share your resume with employers directly through that platform. So your resume gets higher visibility with those employers. In an independent study of users who are Google certified, 80% of those who got certified and applied for a new job received at least one job offer. 1 in 3 certified users received a raise or acquired a job for higher pay. Right, so training and certification differentiate you from the rest of the candidate pool. Now, where this differs from like something like a solutions challenge, et cetera, is there is no need, not everybody can shine as a winner, right? There are tons of students who are equally smart, accomplished, talented, but may not win a particular competition, right? That is where training and certification give you the advantage of presenting your resume in a different light than the other candidates. The solutions challenge is important in that it gives you the practical experience. It gets you to practice with real live use cases, create impact in your communities, but do that not necessarily for just the joy of learning as well, right, and creating that impact. So how can you propel your own communities into a cloud-first world? We have a number of options here. So cloud study jams. Kevin mentioned cloud study jams this morning. I was thrilled to hear that. So cloud study jams are essentially 4-hour workshops in an environment called Quick Labs, where you get practice, you get hands-on experience with Google Cloud Platform. Cloud Hero, which my colleague Leslie will talk about after this particular talk. These are both learning environments, right? Which you can basically call your community in for one or more workshops, run them, and students, I'll talk about the details in the next slide. The next step, once you've built awareness, is the Career Readiness Program, which is more in-depth training and certification benefits. And all of this really sets you up to, and your community up to participate in hackathons, land your first internship, get hired, or launch your startup. And you, as DSC leads, you're in that position to drive learning within your communities and help them prepare for that solution challenge. So like Komal said, you have your solution challenge coming up in February or March. How do you plan your workshops now to get your community ready, technically ready, to be able to solve those challenges? So what is the goal of Cloud Study Jams? The goal of Cloud Study Jams is to create aha moments, right? You're not necessarily trying to teach them the nitty-gritty of a command or how to get to like do a particular operation in the Google Cloud Console or anything like that. You want the light bulb to go on. That is the goal of a Cloud Study Jam. And what do I mean by an aha moment, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say you had to solve a problem. You had to write an application which distinguished pictures of puppies and muffins. How would you write this application? You could say, I'll write an application with a bunch of rules. If a picture has ears, has eyes, it's a puppy. If a picture has a wrapper of some kind, it's a muffin. Yeah? Everybody with me so far? Imagine what the code for that application would look like, right? I personally, I'm sure this is a very bright crowd, but I wouldn't know where to start. Now look at this picture. How would you write code to distinguish between a muffin and a puppy here? How many people have had an aha moment right now? Just one? This is where machine learning, AutoML, vision, the vision API shines. With just a few lines of code, all of the detection of whether something is a muffin or a puppy is done for you. You are not writing any code. There are machine learning models that have been trained with thousands of pictures of puppies and thousands of pictures of muffins. And all I need to do is write 3 lines of code to make a call to that vision API, get back the JSON object, look at the attributes in the JSON object, and take it from there. Aha moment? Anybody? All right. So that's kind of the spark that you're trying to drive in Cloud Study Jams, right? And the labs that are in, that we've lined up in the Cloud Study Jams will then take you, once you have that aha moment, OK, now let me try actually doing it with code and API calls. How do I solve the problem? So we have Cloud Study Jam packages ready to go. So there's a whole system. You just basically submit a form. You request Quick Labs credits, and so on. You have slides and Quick Labs ready to go for various Study Jam workshops. Today, we have GCP Essentials, which I believe Kevin has run. Some of you, the others, might have run that as well. We'll soon have Cloud for Application Developers, which will cover areas such as Google Assistant, Actions on Google, and some of the data analytics topics, and so on. And we also have a lot lined up in terms of data and machine learning, which will come out fairly soon. So you'll have a menu of workshops to choose from. And you can kind of, depending on the interests of your community, depending on the kinds of problems and solutions that you're trying to solve in your local community, you can pick from these workshops and really create a wonderful learning experience. All right, so once you're done with the workshops, what next, right? How do how does my community go to the next level, to the next depth of learning? There is a program that we've launched called Google Cloud Career Readiness Program. Currently, there is one track called the Associate Cloud Engineer track. Admittedly, it's a bit infrastructure focused today. But it gives you training and certification credits, right? So you get access to specializations, about 40 hours of coursework on Coursera. You get quick labs credits for additional hands-on practice. And if you choose to get certified, you'll get a 50% off the Associate Cloud Engineer certification as well. And we have plans to launch a data analytics track as well soon. And if you want to look at it, so we took this program to India earlier this year. So if you look us up on Twitter, on LinkedIn, under the hashtag Google Cloud Ready, you'll see some pictures of the events and some excitement around the program there as well. So for this program, if you are interested, if your community is interested in pursuing more in-depth training and certification, I should say, please, currently the program is enabled by faculty. So please have your faculty member go to that page and apply, or you can reach out to Danny or somebody and bubble the interest up to us, and we are happy to reach out to faculty as well and bring the program to your institution. All right, so I'll conclude by saying that technology education is the ladder that enables individuals to rise above socioeconomic constraints. It certainly was for me when I graduated from college. And you as DSC leads are uniquely positioned, right, to have that impact on your communities, right? No matter what somebody's background, whether levels of education and so on, there is always room for growth with technology education, right? So that's where you're uniquely positioned. So I wish you all the best. Go make waves, have impact. We are here to support you. So as you go through, run workshops and events on campus, please do provide feedback on what else we can do to help you be successful and help your communities be successful. Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions later. I'll be out on the side.
Thank you.